In a world full of wonders, stories to be told. Mo on the Move, documentary gold. From human interest to culture in every frame. Journey with us as we explore and proclaim. Mo on the Move, where curiosity meets delight. With every episode, our hearts take flight. Exploring nature, information, and tourism too. Join us on this adventure just for you. Traveling across lands, experiencing life in the lips and mouths, banishing all strife. Let Mo on the Move be your guide to witness the world with eyes open wide. Mo on the Move.
A trinket of wonder, the Black Race Rendezvous. These were the words describing a secret place in a part of southwest Nigeria.
In the ages, we are known as Oshomalo, and Oshomalo is purely, if I sold you a clothes mostly in advance, maybe 3 months, whatever, and you refuse to pay on a fixed date, my people will sit down and ensure they got their payment, the day you promise.
To expose these miraculous points as well as others done in creation, we hit the road from Ibadan. The Ibadan-Ile-Ife Expressway is a critical component of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, facilitating the movement of goods from the nation's premier port. But for those who took that part of the road, that's the Lagos-Ibadan Highway, it's a sweet dream. But once they reach this link going towards Ile-Ife, it's a nightmare. Yes, an endless nightmare within more than 100 kilometers stretch of the highway from Ibadan, Ile-Ife to Ilesha. It is Cook-funded rehabilitation project, but works have ceased. The border between Oyo and Osun, a bridge telling the story of the heydays of the highway, is turned throwaway an eye-catching water reservoir, a magical craft of civil engineering. That magical craft has long spinned out of the Ibadan Ile-Ife Ilesha highway. What obtains are harrowing drives for motorists, maneuvering the filled portions of the highway, wasting man hours.
They break that, yeah, everything, motor, they spoil, speak, everything they break. So, I beg government, may help us do them.
How many hours did they spend before from here to Ife, and then now?
We go spend 4.5 hours, though.
Okay.
4.5 hours. If road good, it's like 2 hours.
To reach.
Communities in hibernation. The traffic that once sent vibration of lucrative activities have halted. In the middle of nowhere, an unlucky traveler, he must have hit a sharp one and lost a tire or two. And stopping here to help could be dangerous. So he is left waving the green leaf for the safety of his family. He is not alone in this mess. Even the big masquerades have bitter experiences.
It will happen to anybody, regardless your status in the society. My plea to the minister and the contractor is to do first, use that fund as a partly on palliative measures, fill those deadly potholes on the road. Like I said, these are roads where future leaders, many students plan that road, not to talk of other successful men who will have loved coming home to either see their families and so on, but they are scared of the danger on that road. And in the evening, it's also, there are good spots for the armed robbers, because if you are familiar with the road, you just have to slow down at every point, and that's how they can just invade the travelers.
Road develop a country. Good transportation develop a country. I had applied timeless terms to the governor, the state, to the Minister of Works, and to all those connected with roads, informing them of the need to have good roads to this place. Mind you, all the states in Nigeria have students here, including people from outside Nigeria. So I'm always ashamed when people come from other countries and they have to come on this road to this place. And each time my students are going back home or coming in, I will stay till about 12 in the night to wait to receive those who left home as early as 5 a.m. Then I appreciate those who are concerned, appreciate the need for good road. It won't benefit only by the university, it will also benefit the farmers who cannot carry their goods to the town.
In the cliffs of the Trans-West African Coastal Highway, and by all means a channel to an international center of attraction. You may be asking for clarification. Follow me to Osogbo, the capital of Osun State. Here lies the land of the oracles, and the walls of the shrine captures it all. Coincidentally, our visit was a clash with that of the British Deputy Ambassador. So we tag along each step of the way into the shrine, the gods waiting for devotees to seek for favor. Those who crave for the gift of the womb, here is an opportunity for you to come and beg for 1, 2, or even more. Stone throw away to the river Osun and the old palace. Nature having a field day, so the oracles. This suspended bridge across the Osun River has been built in the 30s, a combination of iron here, concrete down here, and it seems to be swinging around. You may want to visit Osun Osogbo, not because of the traditional rites that are being conducted across the 700 acres of land here, but also to see things like this bridge. When the diplomats took steps on the bridge, the microphone was waiting. Why the interest here?
Well, this is my first visit to Ocean State, and obviously the Sacred Grove is a really important part of Yoruba culture. So I wanted to come and see this fantastic site and to hear about the history of the site.
What's your impression?
I think it's an amazing place. I love coming to places like this, and it's nice to hear the stories from the guide and to understand the importance of this place to such a wide range of people. So look, there are interesting places to come to in Nigeria, but it is important to pay attention, and if you're British, to the travel advice that the British government puts out. And also we need to recognise that it's not always easy actually to get into Nigeria or indeed to travel around Nigeria. So I would, as a message for people who are talking about tourism, I would suggest that Nigeria needs to look at its visa system. I know that sounds strange coming from a British person, but we actually issue a lot more visas to Nigerians than Nigeria does to any other country in the world at all. A lot more. So Nigeria really needs to think about its visa system, needs to think about making that affordable and making places like this accessible. But I agree with you. In time, I think places like this will be great for people to visit. And I would guess that at the moment there's quite a large domestic tourist market, and also people whose roots are in Nigeria and come back at critical periods and then want to come to places like this.
But a wind of change is about blowing through this 700 acres of thick forest, making the oracles a button away from devotees.
One of our key angles in this state for this administration is how do we propel Osun State as the cultural destination, be it you're trying to shoot movies, you're trying to learn about the Yoruba race, about the black culture, that Osun is the place for people to come. I mean, while walking around with the curators of the Osun Osogbo Grove, they mentioned there are 250 herbs in this grove alone that treats different medicinal issues instead of taking different. So what we're trying to do as a state is harness that opportunity, create that enabling environment for businesses, investors, and other stakeholders to come and see Osun as their own place where they can thrive, they can learn, they can grow, and more importantly, they can improve their well-being. That's what the government is driving at this particular time.
Before the emissaries of the state closed their remarks, a German tour guide was at the door of the shrine knocking.
So it's my passion to travel around the world, and Nigeria is my 79th country, and so I organized this trip, and this was one of the bucket list. Yeah, and
That brought you here.
Yes.
So it means with that you're going to bring more people from Germany here?
I hope someone will ask me, and then I will recommend Nigeria, of course. At the moment, I like it really much. Yeah. Yeah.
What are your strategies?
Strategy?
Yes, for you to be able to convince people to take them out to places like Nigeria.
So many people at my country see how I travel, and it's safe, it's not dangerous, it's not difficult to travel around the world.
With a bit from the land of the oracles, we headed back towards the highway. Off the highway, the ancient city of Ilesha. This place is full of history. The Germans had a stint here, but they have long gone. Series of civilization blowing through this city, with a particular one leaving marks all over homes across Ijesha land. Another ancient architectural wonder beacons. Here, the churches are in the forefront in preserving the art and stands the test of depreciation. Awesome styles from one end of the city to another. But this manna, not from heaven anymore. It's a part of the foundation of the land.
My great-grandfather, Ajimoko the First, was brought back to Nigeria after slave trade was banned, and he brought with him wealth and resources from his then master in around Belgium area, and they have regular contacts. He didn't treat him like a slave. He exposed him into many things. So on getting home, he brought all those experience into Ijesha land. Take, for example, it's on record that the layouts almost over 100 years ago of Ilesha, is very unique, very easy to drive around, and very easy to go from one street to the other. In survey institutions, Ilesha roads, are described as one of the best in the country. So ditto in terms of these buildings that you can see around Ijesha. These are things, he and other ex-slaves brought from abroad. For example, our town hall is about 100 years now, but it's an architectural masterpiece. Same our churches, like the Anglican churches, Iloro, Omofe, then the former Methodist Church building, which was later rebuilt about 50 years ago, was another masterpiece in the area.
The Ijesha people, they are very exposed. In fact, going back to history, the first medical doctor in Nigeria was an Ijesha man, Dr. Shapara, lawyer, everything. Ijesha people, they moved into Lagos, into Britain in the 18th century, and many of them were exposed. In fact, one of the prominent slaves that was taken here was a man reputed to be the richest man in Nigeria then, Darosa, Candido Darosa. His family name here is Essan, and his name is Lejo Essan. So, but later when he took the Brazilian name, Darosa, of Waterhouse at Kakawa Street, So, talking about development of architecture in Ijesha land, according to what I learned from my forefathers, the first thatched building, no iron roofed building, belonged to one Prince Lufadeju. It's not even in Ijesha land. We call that place Wayero, somewhere around the Ilesha here. In that year, I think around 1928 or something, he built a thatched roof with a iron sheet. And that year, all the societies in Ijesha, they have to dance to that place, singing, Oko panu si wayero, Oko panu si wayero, Origento, Olufadeju, Oko panu si wayero. The thing was a new thing then, because most of the buildings were covered with thatched roof, made of palm front. We call it Ilewe. But from that time, the idea of bringing it iron roof came in. So I will not say that there is no Brazilian influence on the architecture, but talking about building, see this particular building. I don't know when it was built, but I know it belongs to one of our chief in Ijesha land, Chief Owolabi. It was late Obaudo of Ilesha. When he had this building, I think he had it in 1930s, because they have so many influence. There are many buildings, not as big as this, but which have this similar structure.
A land of history, a history that can only be completed with a drive to a sleepy community off the Akure Road. Erin Ijesha, here we come. A church said to be more than 100 years old welcomes. Its bell tower with the strength of Zuma Rock, but the sound of the bell gone with age. Before the base of the hill, the future of Nigeria, sharing their experience.
It was very tough and it was so difficult.
Okay.
We have the feelings in our
Your
nail.
legs.
That was why we are not able to get to the 7th floor.
That gives us a clue. We made up our minds to get to the 7th stage. Stepping up to watch the Erin Ijeta waterfall, you have to take a step like this one I'm taking, about 7 steps, they said. And the higher you go, the better view you get of the waterfall. Come along with us. The hassles of climbing, we're just at the first stage of our way up to the tip of the waterfall. And what you see here is an indication of the beautiful things that you're going to see once you go further. Climbing the staircases could be as tasking and challenging as an amateur in the Tour de France. What makes an enduring climb here is that each step you conquer, there is a space for you to rest and then gain more strength, then start the steps once again.
I never had the knowledge from onset that we were going to climb this top. But it's fun, it's exercise. We are still young, we can still do more.
The final stages were tough. No more artificial staircases, but the roots of the trees all over the hill. The 7th stage of the Erin Ijesa hill. That means we have conquered and we are at the topmost part of this hill. We could clearly hear the sound of the waterfall gushing out from its source here, but unfortunately, because the geography here is that of a full-time forest, we could not see where this source of the water is, but at least we are at the topmost part of the hill and the main source of the water gushing out is somewhere just here in this forest. Unlike the very raw waterfalls that we so clearly followed, we're not able to get to see it here. If you like to try this adventure, then you should be ready to sweat it out, just like I have done.
In a world full of wonder, stories to be told, all on the move, the documentary gold. From human interest to culture, in every frame, journey with us as we explore and proclaim. More on the move, where curiosity meets the light. We've Every episode our hearts take flight, exploring nature, information, and tourism too. Join us on this adventure just for you. Traveling across lands, experiencing life in the lips and bounds, banishing all strife. Live more on the move, be your guide.